Part 1.
Well, don't look up at the
Will you shut up? Shut your own up. You can't say a bloody thing. She's all gob.
Right, ukulele.
Part 1.
Part 1.
Thursday, the market. Bill Roberts, little Johnny Clare, myself, and George Marsden from Marsden's the Butchers. Right, we're all going to the Red Lion, Stockton Heath. So we all go to the Red Lion. So we're in the back room and George Marsden got the darts and was going to throw darts. And no, we'll have a pint. So we had a pint. All of a sudden George says, I've left my bloody car open. So out he runs and comes in with a violin case. Well, I knew what it was. It was a ukulele. And I knew where George Formby lived, London Road, and the Marsdens lived in the house after him. So anyhow, he opened it. He said, I'm just going to sell this in Warrington. I've been offered 15 quid for it. I said, I'll give you 20 now. Shut it. In my car, locked up, went back, and the other three didn't know what I'd bought. But I did. And George, Dennis Marsden, went up in the loft when they lived there, and the Formbys had gone, and there was a light in there, and in the corner he found the ukulele. And he brought it down and dusted it off and put it in his car, and he was going to sell it 15 quid to some fellow in Warrington. I gave him 20 for it. Frank Randall's played it. Nicky Allcroft offered me £500 for it. I said, no, it's for Al Martin, and I hope it stays that way. It's worth a lot of money. But George used to come to the Baileys on a Monday and a Friday, and he used to have his dinner there, his supper, and I used to go on the bike to the crossings, railway crossings, near the pub, up the steps, little chip shop, 7 fish and chips and peas, but with one special salt and vinegar, a lot. They were George's, so I used to put them on the top, and I went back to Baileys, and I used to get them all out, and I was getting the 7th out, the one that was on the top, and I was just going in the room with George's, and Jessie come out and she said, where are you going? I said, I'm taking George's dinner in. She says, you're not, lad. Go back and put it on the plate, in the paper. He won't have it off a plate. So in the paper they went, and then he went. And George said, these are lovely, Mike, these are lovely. And when he come home from Zip Goes America, when he come home from Canada, I was outside the pub at the Cat and Lion, and the Rolls GF1 passed. All of a sudden it come to a screech and reversed onto the Cat Stones. George got out, put his arms around me, he said, come on, I'll buy you a pint. So I had a shandy, and he had a shandy. And then in come the witch, Beryl. She had a gin and tonic. She says, come along, Scotty will have the dinner ready. He said, look, tell Fred I won't be coming this week. I'm very tired. And that was the last time I saw Fred, for the funeral. And in the first car, there was only one person. And it was a young lady. And never saw anything else. He's buried with his dad at Warrington Cemetery. But the ukulele is authentic. It's got the coloured strings, because George would never play a ukulele without the coloured strings. And I was telling this to, what was his name, the president? Stan Evans. And Stan was in hospital with me. And while we were there, well, I'd gone upstairs then, the band, all the orchestra come, about 8 or 10 of them, and played round his bed. And there was a little girl she was about 8. My God, she could play it. But he was telling me about when the ukuleles were all sold, there was a marquee, and he said some went for £200, some went for 20,000, and some went for 30,000. He said, but the queue was a mile long to buy the ukuleles. He said, I've got 3, but he said, I didn't buy them at the sale. I bought mine private. Well, that's Sten Evans.
Very good.